Believe that you have watched my previous video on linear span. Today we will discuss some of the results on linear span, which will give you more idea of what we exactly mean by a linear span of a set. So before that, I'll just quickly go through the definition of linear span of a set. So if we have a set S of a vector space V, then linear span of S, which is denoted as L of S, or S enclosed by these two bracket, or span of S, is a set of all linear combinations of finitely many vectors of S, which means it's a set of this form containing the vector of the form summation I going from 1 to n alpha I vi for some alpha I in R and vi vectors in S. Okay, so the standard properties which we will discuss starts from here. Okay, so the first property says that for given any subset S of a vector space V, linear span of S is a subspace of V. It is not only a subspace, but it is in fact the smallest subspace having certain property. It is the smallest subspace containing S. Now this idea flows from the some of my previous lectures, wherein we have discussed that if I consider a set of the if I consider, suppose I have a point V naught in a V, and if I consider a set of a scalar multiple of this V naught, then it's going to be a smallest vector space containing the point V naught. Further, if I extend this statement for the 2 points, so suppose I have V naught and V1 from the vector space V, and if I consider the set of linear combination of this V naught and V1, then this set becomes a subspace containing, in fact it's a smallest subspace containing this 2 point V naught and V1, or containing the set consisting of 2 point V naught and V1. So the same idea is extended further, because we know that a linear span of S is in fact a set of a linear combination of a finite vectors of S, and therefore it has to be the smallest subspace containing S. Now we divide this proof into three parts. First of all, we will show that this S is a subset of this linear span of S. We know that both S and linear span of S are sets. Second thing, I'll show that linear span of S is a subspace, smallest subspace of V, that is missing, is a subspace of V. And the third part, I'll show that this is the smallest subspace having this property, that is containing S. So that is, if I have any other subspace containing S, then that cannot exceed this linear span of S. Linear span of S has to contain in that space. So let's prove our claim one by one. So the first claim that we have over here is that S is a subset of linear span of S, and that is very easy to observe. If I take any element from S, so let me take it as say X, let X belongs to S. By this I mean I need to show that every element of S is an element of linear span of S. So if I start arbitrary with any element X in S, then I need to show that this X is also in linear span of S. Well, so that will be true provided this X is a linear combination of itself, or X is a linear combination of some finite vectors of S. In fact, you observe that this X can be written as a linear combination of itself. X is nothing but 1 into X, right? And X is one vector from S. So therefore I can say that this belongs to linear span of S. So that is enough to say that X is in linear span of S, and therefore we claim that S is a linear span of S. So that's the first part. Second part, what we will prove is that this L of S is a subspace of V. L of S is a subspace of V. Just recollect 3 points to show that something is a subspace of V. Firstly, we show that the zero vector is in linear span of S. Second thing, we need to show that plus is closed in linear span of S. That is, if I take two vectors in linear span of S, then their sum is also in linear span of S. And third is the scalar multiplication is closed in linear span of S. That is, if I take any scalar alpha and any vector in linear span of S, then alpha into that vector again belongs to linear span of S. So let's try to observe this. So first of all, when do I say that zero vector belongs to linear span of S? By definition, we should be able to write down this zero vector as a linear combination of a finite vectors of this S. Okay, so if I take, say, some finite vector, say let v1, v2 and vn belongs to S, can I write down this 0 vector as a linear combination of these vectors? Very simple. You just take the scalars corresponding to each of this vector to be equal to 0, and in fact therefore 0 vector can be written as a linear combination of any finite vectors of S. So we can write down this as 0 into v1 plus 0 into v2 by this 0 is a real value and this 0 vector is a vector in V, and this goes on till 0 into Vn. So this belongs to linear span of S, as V1, V2 dot Vn are the finite vectors in S. So therefore that proves the first part. Secondly, if I have two vector, let me call it as, say, V and W in linear span of S. So that means V can be expressed as a linear combination of a finite vectors of S, as well as W can be expressed as a linear combination of a finite vectors of S. So we should be able to find some points in S and some scalars in S such that V and W express as a linear combination of these two vectors. So therefore I can say that V is expressed as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha n Vn for some alpha I in R and Vi in S, right? I is varying from 1 to n. Also, since W is in linear span of S, this W can also be written as a linear combination of some finite vectors of S. Those may not be same as v1, v2 dot vn. So we will write this as a linear combination of some other vectors in S. So let me call it as, say, beta 1 w1 plus beta 2 w2, and this goes on till beta n wn. Once again, okay, now this need not go till n, so I'll call it as, say, some m is some natural number. Say for some beta I in R and W I in S, I is varying from 1 to n. So now if I see the sum of this V and W, V plus W, what I need to show is that this V plus W also belongs to linear span of S, and that is possible if this vector is again written, it can be expressed as a linear combinations of some finite vectors of S. Okay, this Wi is coming from S. So from this two expression, V is nothing but alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha n Vn plus this is same as beta 1 W1 plus beta 2 W2, and this goes on till beta m Wm, right? So once again, if I just remove this bracket, as the associativity is true in this case, I can write down this as alpha 1 V1, alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha n Vn plus beta 1 W1 plus beta 2 W2, and this goes on till beta m Wn. As per the information that we have, we know that this V1, V2 Vn are the vectors coming from S, as well as W1, W2 to till Wm are the vectors coming from S, and all this alpha 1 till alpha n and beta 1 till beta m are the scalars coming from R. So therefore, once again I can say that this belongs to S, linear span of S, as V1, V2 till Vn and B1, beta 2 till beta m belongs to. So here I is varying from 1 to n and j is varying from 1 to n. So that context make it very clear. Now in a similar way we will check whether scalar multiplication is closed. So that's the third thing to be checked. So what I'll start with any scalar in R and any vector v in linear span of S, because that is the set which we are proving to be a subspace. So by definition of linear span of S, V should be expressed as a linear combinations of the finite vectors of S, which means that I should write down this V should be expressed as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha n Vn. See, these are some notations which I am using. If it's coinciding with some other notations, then don't get confused. Okay, the vector may not be same. Okay, so where Vi belongs to S and alpha i's are the scalars R, and I is as usual varying from 1 to n. Okay, so now what I need to check is alpha V is a vector coming from L of S. That would be true provided alpha V also can be expressed as a linear combination of a finite vectors of S. By this, what we know that since V is same as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 and it goes on till alpha n Vn, alpha V is going to be alpha time this vector, right? And using one of the properties of a vector space, okay, this is not a distributive property, it's something similar to distributive property. We can write down this as alpha into alpha 1 V1, and again one of the property once again of a scalar multiple, I can write down this as alpha into alpha 1 as a scalar into V1, alpha into alpha 2 as a scalar into V2, and this goes on till alpha into alpha n scalar into Vn, right? So the corresponding scalars of Vi's are nothing but alpha into alpha I. So the question is this alpha V is a linear span of S? That is it again expressed as a linear combinations of a finite vectors of S? You know that V1, V2 Vn are the vectors in S. Once again, you know that alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n as a scalar R, and alpha is also a real number. So the product alpha into alpha 1, alpha into alpha 2, and this goes on till alpha into alpha n are real numbers. So that is enough to say that this is the element or the vector in linear span of S. So this belongs to linear span of S as alpha into alpha I is a real number, and this Vi are the elements coming from S. So with this three property, I can say that linear span of S is a subspace of V. The proof is not yet complete. we are yet to show that it is the smallest subspace of V containing S, right? So it contains S, that we have already proved. It's a subspace of V, that is also proved. Now we need to show that it is the smallest subspace. So claim 3, L of S is the smallest subspace of V containing S. Now the idea is very similar to what we have discussed in the previous class. What we will do is that we will take any randomly any subspace containing this S. Okay, so let W be any subspace of V containing S. That is, S is contained in W and W is a subspace of V. Well, this is what is given. Now this is in general any subspace, any so something like this we have, this is V and you have a set S and W is any subspace. So to show that this L of S is the smallest subspace of V having this property, what I need to show is that this L of S cannot exceed this W, however small that W may be, but this L of S will always be contained in this W. So if I can show that, then we are done. So to show that linear span of S is contained in this W. So that means once again we are comparing two sets. So how do I show that a set is contained in another set? I'll start randomly by any element in this set and I'll show that it belongs to W. So for that, let small s be in linear span of S, which means by definition of linear span of S can be expressed as a linear combination of a finite vectors of S. So that's why we need to have this as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 and this goes on till alpha and Vn, where this alpha i's are the scalars and Vi are the vector coming from S, some finite vectors from S, right? So what is our claim? I want to show that this S is in W. Okay, now note that this W is a vector subspace of V and each of this Vi is coming from S. So since each of this Vi is coming from S and S is a subset of W, as S is contained in W, this Vi belongs to W. Okay, now we make a use of the fact that W is a subspace. So if each of this Vi belongs to W, their scalar multiples also belongs to W because W is a subspace. This would implies that this is true for each I running from 1 to n, right? So therefore alpha I Vi also belongs to W. Alpha is just a scalar. Okay, so this is again true for, the reason is W is a subspace of V, right? So if each of this vector from 1 to n belongs to W, their sum definitely, because plus is closed in W, so their sum will also be in W. So this means that alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 and this goes on till alpha and Vn also part of a W. But what is this? This is nothing but S. So this implies that S is also in W. Once again, the justification for this is that W is a subspace of V. So that means that any element in linear span of S lies in W, and that's enough to say that linear span of S is a subset of W. Hence, we are done with all three claims From all these three claims, we say that linear span of S is the smallest subspace of V containing W. S may be any subset of V, right? Any non-empty subset. Definitely it has to be a non-empty, because linear span of S otherwise is going to be empty set, right? Yes, so that's the first property we have proved for a linear span of S. Now another interesting property that we can have is that, suppose I have a two set, say S1 and S2 of V, such that S1 is contained in S2. Then in that case, what should be the relation between linear span of S1 and linear span of S2? As expected, linear span of S1, that is the set of all the collections of the vectors of all the linear combinations of finite vectors of S1, is contained in the collection of all the linear combination of finite vectors of S2, right? Well, now this can be proved very easily through the above property. Observe that S1 is contained in S2, and we know that S2 will always be in linear span of S2, because if S is any subset of V, then S always contained in linear span of S, right? So by this what we have shown is that S1 indirectly is contained in linear span of S2, right? So if S1 is contained in linear span of S2, and what you know that linear span of, now I want to get this into the picture, right? What you know is that the linear span of S1 is the smallest subspace containing S1, and also you have shown that this linear span of S2 is some other subspace containing S1. So that means no way that linear span of S1 can be bigger than this linear span of S2, right? So something similar to the previous steps, if I consider this as any set, say W, S1 is W is a subspace containing S1, but what we know is that the linear span of S1 is the smallest subspace containing S1. So therefore linear span of S1 have to be always smaller than any set W, any subspace W having this property, right? But what we know is that the linear span of S1 is the smallest subspace containing S1. Okay, and also we know that S1 is contained in linear span of S2. So therefore we need to have linear span of S1 contained in linear span of S2. It cannot be bigger than linear span of S2, because linear span of S2 also have the same property. It contains S1. But by definition, by property, we know that the linear span of S1 is the smallest subspace containing S1. So that that gives us the required proof. Okay. Yes. What we know is that if S is a subset of a vector space V, then we know that S is always contained in linear span of S. But when does that equality attain? That is, when can I say that the linear span of S is always also contained in S? That is true provided S is a subspace, not a subset, but a subspace of a vector space V. Why it is true? We prove through this. Okay. So we know that S is contained in linear span of S. Let me consider S as a subspace of V. See, if in future if I miss to say that V is a vector space in a statement, we consider that you have to assume that it's a vector space, because we fix this notation once. Okay, right? So what I need to show is that to show that, or a claim is that S is contained in linear span of S. Then we are done, because we know that this is always true, given that S is a subspace of V. So as usual, I'll start with any X in S. X in S, well, what am I writing? I should be proving that L of S is contained in S, because we know that S is contained in linear span of S. So I'll start with L of S. X is in L of S, okay, which means that X can be expressed as a linear combination of finite vectors of S. So alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha n Vn. Okay, see, this is how you understand the definition of any concept. You just keep on practicing until it becomes a familiar to you. So once you get used to the same thing again and again, you will become a familiar to this definition. So whenever you come across this, you will know what should be the next step. Okay, so this is for some, not for all. Okay, for some alpha I in R and Vi in S. Okay, vectors from S. Now, isn't it very easy to see that this X also belongs to S? Well, what you know is that each of these Vi is coming from S, and don't forget, now in this case S is a vector space. So if each of these Vi is in S, any scalar multiple of Vi will also be in S. And if that's the case for each of this I, that is, if I can say that alpha 1 V1, alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha and Vn are the vectors in S, then their sum, because S is a subspace, then their sum is also a part of S. Okay, so since Vi belongs to S for each I, this implies that alpha I into Vi belongs to S for each I. You know where this I is varying, so I'm not writing it. This implies that the sum I going from 1 to n alpha I Vi belongs to S. This is a shorter way of writing this, a finite sum. This means that X belongs to S. Are we done? Well, the reason for each of this is that S is a subspace. Here also the same reason, which implies that L of S is a subset of S. So we know that S is a subset of linear span of S. We now also know that the linear span of S is a subset of S. By the way, this is possible only because S is a subspace of V. So that's enough to say that linear span of S in this case is equal to S, right? So that is one property. The another property is this. Suppose I have two subsets of a vector space V, and one of them is a proper subset of the another set. Now here in this statement I have taken an example wherein the other one have only one extra vector. Now see, even though they are a proper subset, their linear span may be same, but there's a condition for that. So the linear span of these two sets will be same provided that additional vector that you have belongs to, or it can be expressed as the linear combinations of the remaining vector, which is as same as saying that it belongs to a linear span of the smaller set. Okay, now this idea can also be extended further. Now here I have taken only one additional element than this set S. See, S prime is constructed in a such a way that it has S as well as one additional element. So it's going to be a set V1 V2 dot 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 Vn comma one extra element V, right? So this idea in fact can be further extended for the set having more than one element also. Okay, so when definitely S is not same as S prime if this V is not same as v1 v2 or and vn, right? So but then the linear span of S can be same as linear span of S prime, and that is true if and only if this additional element that we have in S prime belongs to linear span of S. Okay, so this is a biconditional statement. Now this can be elaborated in a way you want. Sometime I can say that if and only if this V is a linear combinations of this vector in S, v1 v2 dot 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 vn. Okay, so we prove this. Since this is a biconditional statement, first we will assume that linear span of S is same as linear span of S prime. I'm not rewriting the fact that S is v1 v2 vn as a finite set, and v prime S prime is a set which is constructed from S. Okay, S union one additional vector v, right? Okay, so if this is true, then what I need to show is that this V is in linear span of S. Well, we know that this V belongs to S prime, and S prime is contained in linear span of S prime. That's always true, right? So therefore, that's it. So therefore, this linear by this you know that linear span of S prime is same as linear span of S. This is enough to say that V belongs to linear span of S. To be more precise, I mean to say that since S is a finite vector, S is a finite set, V can be expressed as a linear combination of those finite vectors of S itself. Okay, so that is alpha 1 v1, S is v1 v2 dot dot vn. So alpha 1 v1, alpha 2 v2, and this goes on till alpha n vn. No, if it is not exactly a linear combination of all these n vectors, say suppose it is a linear combination of one or two vector, it can be extended by taking those scalars to be equal to 0, not an issue at all. Okay, so for some alpha I in R, right? So that's it. So that's true. That's the first part. Secondly, let us assume that V belongs to linear span of S. Okay, V is an element from S prime and it is also in a linear span of S. We claim that linear span of S is same as linear span of S prime. Linear span of S is same as linear span of S prime. So it has two parts. Firstly, I mean to show that the two sets are equal, we need to show that the subsets are same. That is, if I want to show that A is equal to B, I need to show that A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A, right? So first thing you observe that this S prime contain S, right? So because it contain one additional element, right? So this is a bigger set than S, so this contain S. So I have S contained in S prime. In fact, it's a proper subset. Okay, so if this is the case, by one of the above property, linear, what should be the relation between the linear span of S and linear span of S prime? Linear span of S has to be contained in linear span of S prime, right? By the above property, by one of the property. Okay, I don't know which one, you find it out. For exam, don't write it as by one of the property, it's the statement. If you want to, if the proof is required, then you generate the proof. So that's the first part. Now I need to show that linear span of S prime is contained in linear span of S. This is quite interesting. So let me start with an element belongs to linear span of S prime. Fine. Okay. Which means that now what are the elements in S prime? S prime is a set consisting of V and all the vectors in S. So that is V and V1, V2 dot 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 till Vn. Okay, either you can write down V first or the last, or even in between, not a problem, but for a convenience I'll write down O here. So that means S is same as um, a linear combination of this vector. So alpha into V, corresponding to V I'll write down alpha, and corresponding to this n vector I'll take alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha n Vn, right? For some alpha and alpha I coming from R, and you know that Vn Vi coming from S prime. But you know that this V, so this is the expression that you have, I'll call it as equation 2. What I need to show that this S is in linear span of S. So that means I should be able to write down this S as the linear combination of only vectors of S. Okay, that is V1, V2 dot 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 Vn in terms of V1, V2 dot dot Vn, but it has an extra element. But you know this further, this V can also be reduced to a linear combinations of vector S of S, because it is mentioned that it is given that V is a linear span of S. So now we are using that fact. So since V belongs to linear span of S, that is linear span of the vector V1, V2 and Vn, we should be able to express as a linear combination of these two vectors. So since I have already used alpha 1, alpha 2 dot dot alpha n, I'll use now beta 1, beta 2 till beta n. So we'll have beta 1 V1 plus beta 2 V2, and this goes on till beta n Vn for some beta I in R. Now rewrite this S, because you know that V is expressed in terms of V1, V2 and Vn. So therefore S is same as alpha into beta 1 V1 plus beta 2 V2, and this goes on till beta n Vn plus alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2, and this goes on till alpha n Vn. Now you check that this S is now a linear combinations of vectors in S, capital S, that is a linear combinations of vector v1 v2 dot 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 vn only. That's very easy to check, because you know if you look at this, you have one terms of v1 here, one terms of v1 here, so you can collect it together, and then the coefficient of v1 will become alpha b1 plus alpha 1. So as long as this is a real number, as long as the coefficient of each of this vi is a real number, I can say that this S belongs to linear span of S. And we know that since each of this beta 1 and alpha, beta and alpha are real number, the product as well as the sum also belongs to a real number. So what do I have? I have the first term as alpha beta 1 plus alpha 1 into V1, alpha beta 2 plus alpha 2 into V2, and this goes on till alpha beta n plus alpha n into Vn. So now you can see that this S is expressed as only a linear combinations of the vector v1, v2 dot 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 Vn, which belongs to S, and therefore this belongs to linear span of S, as this corresponding coefficient is a scalar, is a real number, right? So this says that linear span of S prime is contained in linear span of S, and therefore from 1 and 2, okay, therefore linear span of S prime is contained in linear span of S, and hence linear span of S prime is equal to linear span of S. The idea of this statement can be more generalized. Here we have only one additional element, so in fact if you have more than one additional element, idea is again simple. Each of this should be able to express as a linear combination of vectors in S, right? Then only the linear span of S would be same as the linear span of S prime, right? Yeah, so I want you to go through each of these properties, very simple properties in linear algebra, okay, and you can enjoy the further results, the further statements, further concept in linear algebra, provided these basic things you know very well. So with this very short note, I end up this session. I expect you to go through this and continue with the next session. Thank you very much for watching this video.